Yeah.
People will start coming. Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Can I have the speaker turn on, please? Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. So the speaker name is Jayakumar and Pavithra, and they're gonna really cover some great stuff on a SharePoint side of it. It will show them, show you guys how you can really build some multilingual communication sites in SharePoint Online. And they have been on C Sharp Corner MVPs, and they do a lot of bloggings as well. So welcome both of you in this event. And just a little housekeeping items. I request everybody to go mute except the speaker. And we're going to start in next 2 minutes. And please plan your questions, drop it in the chat. Our speaker would love to answer them in the last 10th minute of of the session. So I would request everybody to maintain this so that we will have less intervention from the audience side. Thank you for your cooperations, and we hope you're really enjoying this thrill of a great learning event. Thank you. Over to you, Pavitra and Jayakumar. Please start sharing your screen and let's see.
You're able to see me?
Could you please speak a bit loud because I can't
Yeah,
hear?
sure. Yeah. Is it audible now?
Maybe a little less. What I can see, just a minute. Yeah, I think it's good. And tech check for Pavitra as well, if she can speak, and I'll just probably confirm.
Yeah. So I think your Pavitra is not joining. Some emergency. So I
Okay, sure. I'm sorry to say, Jayakumar, I think I still having issues while listening you. I request you to please just put some headset or maybe speak a bit loud. Yeah. Can you say
Yeah.
something now? That's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's begin in next 1 minute. And I think the screen is up. Let me put that in a recording. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can we start?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello all. So thanks for joining. So greetings to everyone. So welcome to M365 Gurgaon. So let's discuss some interesting concepts about how we can enable multilingual concepts in your communication sites. So using the out-of-the-box options and the same using your SharePoint framework applications. So both we are going to see the both out-of-the-box options and how we can do it in a custom SPFX development as well. So myself, Jayakumar Balasubramaniam. So as I'm working as a product lead at Cupfly, and I'm working on Microsoft 365 and Azure. So Pavitra, my co-speaker. So she's unfortunately is not joining now. So okay, let's move on to the session. So here's a short agenda for our session today. So we are going to see how we can enable the multilingual pages and users, and how we can do the same using the SPFX web parts, like targeting the multilingual for the web metadata and the contents on any property values, and how you can do the testing as well when you do the development. Okay, basically, why we need this multilingual concepts in our communication sites. So basically, if you see the multilingual feature is a main important thing in the diverse environment. So extremely in the current situation. So where we all are working from home, from different time zones and different locations and different cities and places. So it mainly helps the users to who likes to consume the contents in their own preferred language. For example, if I'm coming from France, I would like to see the contents in the French. So rather than seeing everything in English, at the same time, I should be have an option to switch between the contents, either if I want to see it in the English or if I want to see it in the French, anything, I should be have an option. That one other thing that we should have. The one other thing is the contents that we are going to see is not going to be automatically updated. So it has to be something given by the developers, or in for some cases, it has to be translated by the site owners or the respective translators. Okay, these are the main areas that we are going to do the multilingual translation that can be applied in our communication sites. For example, the publishing site pages or the modern news and the site title, navigation, footer, and the hub navigation, and any of the custom web parts that you have been building. That also can be targeted to different languages. Actually, it's not, as I said earlier, the contents is not automatically translated. You have to spend time to translate. When if you are developing any custom web part, you have to spend time to translate the contents and put it in your web parts. Or if you are going to do some use some out of the box options like using the modern pages or newses, then you need to set respective translators for each languages. For example, if it is a French, there should be a separate translator for the French, or if it is a German, there should be a separate translator for German, because the context may differ in German and in any other languages. The appropriate translators can deliver a perfect content. And one other thing is it's just not like replacing our existing classic variations features. It's completely new. It's completely new to deliver the only the specific contents in the communication side. Okay, I think I have given you a basic overview what we are going to do. Before I get into more deep, so let me show you some demo, so that the already prepared demo, so that then after I will show you how we can do each and everything. Now let me share my full screen. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you are able to see my screen now. So the multilingual transaction is completely based on the user's preferred language, what they want to, how they want to see the site. So if you look at this site, this is a communication site, as we have said. So we are going to see how we can enable the multilingual in a communication site. So here the site navigation title, everything is in English, because for the current user, the demo user, I have chosen the preferred language as English, and all the content is in English, like building the web part and the Gurgaon events, everything is in English. Suppose if I want to look, if I'm a French user and if I'm opening the same site in the other language, I have chosen here a French language. I don't know French, so I have translated the contents using the translator. Now, if I'm opening the same site in French, if you see, sorry, I think this is the same user. Uh, okay. Yeah. So now this user is another user where I have targeted the language as French. And if you see the top site title, the site informations like navigations, everything is translated to French. Okay, this is by default the SharePoint is translating, but still you should be able to control it, because the default options like settings, site content, site information, these are predefined for all the users, right? So when you choose a preferred language, these contents will be translated automatically. But what happens to your content? That is the content that is created by the site owner or any site contributor, something like that. For example, the same news building multilingual and M365 events, everything is in English only, because it is all user created content. It will not be translated automatically. That's where this feature is comes in, and that's where our session comes in. For example, the default content, these are the default content, as you know, it is given by Microsoft. So it is automatically translated, the placeholders for the events and placeholders for the other placeholders for that events and news. But the web part titles here are the web part titles. It's all given by edited by the user, right? So that's where this multilingual comes in. For example, if once here I have already enabled, so I'm just going to look at the French translated site. See, now the site has translated. Now if you see, the news title is translated automatically and the news content is also translated. If you want to look at this, the same again, it is an English site. For English, I have set a content is building multilingual something. And if I want to go to the French, the content is different because I have already translated this. And if you look at this, here it is also listing M365 Gurgaon event. Why it is listing like this? Because even though we implement this kind of translation, so Microsoft has ensured that no content is missed. That means if the specific page has a translated content, for example, this specific first news is already translated. So it is giving me the French translated content. But this news, I have not translated this. I just left it for the reasons. So I have not translated those. So it gives me both the user preferred language, which is translated in French, and also the not translated content. So whatever the language, I will not miss any of the content. That's the advantage with this. If I go ahead and open this news, if you look at the page, it is translated automatically, and whatever the language that you're translating, it will create as if you look at the URL, it will create a separate folder for you in this language specific folder and put in your page. But it is all done automatically when you translate your content. You are not going to do it manually. For example, if I'm going to access this same page in this English language, yeah, sorry, I have entered wrong URL. Yeah, so this is my English language URL. Suppose if I want to go ahead and view this same page in my French language, I no need to change the URL because I'm just going to enter the same URL like site pages/home.aspx. But once I entered, the URL gets translated automatically based on the user's preferred language. So this is the one way that you're going to update it. And this kind of automated bringing in the data based on the current user's language is currently available for the news web part and the highlighted content web parts. But how about the remaining web parts? Like if you have any custom web parts built in for your business related use, how you are going to do this stuff? So that's where you need to implement some custom localization within your site. So let me show you another example. So where we have done that as well. For example, just going to pick another page which I have built it. So this is sorry, not this page. Yeah. So this is one page which I created to showcase you the multiple web parts. Like, so I'm in French page. I mean, in the user for whom the language is started as French. If we see the web part, this is a custom web part. As you know, this is a default hello world web part which is given. If you see, the content is running in English, sorry, French. Now, if I go ahead and access the same page in the user login where the language is set as English, you can find the same line. You can find the contents are translated into English. So this is how you can do it. Like but contents can also be translated. Not only the content, if you want to if you want to deliver any specific uh, content to the French language also, you should be able to do it, and you can achieve it using your web property section. I will show you a clear coding demo and also how to create all these steps in a next parts of the demo. So for example, if you see, I have created a content, two types of contents. For English language, it will display some English content. For English, so for French, it will display some French content. Now, once I have done and I have saved this one, now if I go and refresh this page, I will have the content delivered as French web part. In the same here, in the other user where the English is targeted, the same content will be delivered in English language. Okay, we are able to customize this contents within the contents that are within the web part. But how about the manifest? How about the metadata like web part title, name, like that? For example, if I want to go ahead and add some hello world web part, I have already created that as well. Let me show you one thing. Okay. Yeah. So for French, if I'm a French user and I want to add this, I have added a hello world web page, so I am choosing this code. For French user, if I want to, I am notifying that user that I have a hello world web page deployed. Obviously, the French user maybe go ahead and try something like this, but they won't find it because the web part title and everything we have configured as hello world. So if he put it in the same in the French language, he should not be able to find it. But we have option for that also in the in our configuration sections and all. We can see how we can do that. For example, since this is one web part which I have created to show you a demo, but in other case, here if you see there is one web part for manifest, and I have created, and if you see the web part title and description, everything is appearing in French language. I just put it just a French, just for better understanding. I have not converted it, but to differentiate it, I just mentioned the title as French. If the same web part, if I go ahead and access in with the login, where the user is English. Yeah. The same report, it's appearing in English. So this is how you can control this multilingual localization starting from your title description to the end of your web part contents. So we'll see how we can do all these steps. So as I said, this session is going to split into two, like the out of the box concepts and how we can do it within our SPFX part. So we have seen how we the already prepared the demo. Now I will show you how to create it from the scratch. For example, now I have logged in with English user. So let me go ahead and create one site, or let me go ahead and create one page better. That will help. Okay, so for example, if I want where you can found these controls. Okay, yeah, it's all within your settings page. Yeah, I'm in the settings page of this site. If you go to your settings, site settings of your page, there you can find an option called language settings, where all these settings resides in. So if you open up your language setting, so you'll be seeing an option like this, which is all completely redefined. Like here is the setting. If you want to enable this multilingual translation for your pages and news, you need to enable this, and you need to mention by default while creating a site, we'll be specifying a sorry, default language like English, and I have added another language called French, and I am assigning this user as the French administrator because the current user who is logged in like demo user don't know French, so I'm assigning some translator for this language. Same like that, you can assign these many languages and you can assign different translators for each language. Only the translators will receive the email whenever a new page is created and it is assigned for translation. For now, I'm creating this French language and I'm going to assign this user as the translator. And let me save this setting. I have saved this setting. Now, if I go ahead and create a page, or create a news. Okay, let me create some blank news for this demo purpose. I have just creating some demo page where this page is created. Now it is available in English. Suppose if I want to translate this and show it to the people for the available in English, French as well, here we get an option. You will get this option only when you enable the setting which under the language settings which we have seen right now. Once you have enabled this setting, you will see an option like this for this specific page. For example, I'm going into this specific news, demo multilingual, and we see this option translation. And if you click on this translation, here you get an option for all the languages that you have enabled. Since we have enabled only French, you get only French over here. I'm just going to request this to translate, request the translator to convert this page. I hope you see that blink sound. That means whenever you request a translation, the user will get, the translator will get the email that a new page is created and it is waiting for your translation approval. For example, yeah, I think this is that user. Let me open the email page. I have requested for translation. Now I'm just opening the Outlook. Yeah, here the translation request has comes in. The French translation requested for the demo multilingual page has received in your inbox. Now the French translator has to go on, click this start translating. I think if you have noticed, we get a message that this has to be translated, and also for the better understanding of the translator, we get a message over here also translate into French. So we just get a notification. We can just remove it. Now, if I'm just going to edit this page and translate this content, I don't know what is the translation for this. So let's ask Google. Yeah. I just translated this page and I'm going to publish it. Yeah, it's published now. Once it is published, you will also get notified by the translator because I have raised the request. So the French translation page has been published. We will get the notification for this as well. The notifications are handled very neat so that if you, for each and every action, you will be keep on getting the notification whether the content is updated or not. After translating, now I'm in a user where the language is targeted in French and I'm seeing the translated content in French. Okay, now I'm in this language. Suppose if I want to see the contents in English, not in the French, this is restricted only to the content of the context what you are seeing, not for the site information like the title, navigation, all these stuffs will not get changed. But if you want to see the contents delivered in the English language, there you have an option. Like it is in English, so there you have a language which are available. Like if you see the contents are changed automatically. Now it is in demo the content, everything is delivered in English, not in the French. And if you want to switch it, you can just switch it back to French. This language setting is specifically to this context and it will be saved in the SharePoint. So you no need to worry that if I close and open the browser or if I open the different machine, it will get changed. It's not like that. So this language is preserved. So wherever you go and you open, the language selection that you choose and latest will be available. So that's how you should be able to translate the contents. Now let's see how we can do the same within our SPFX web paths, like how we can do the same within your SPFX web paths. Yeah, let me open up the PPT again. Yeah. Okay, localizing our web path metadata contents, like as I said, how you can do this title, descriptions, everything to be delivered separately for the different languages. It all resides within your manifest, like where you are using configuring your titles and description. There you can see an option called for each and every language you should be able to configure the translated content. For example, our default language, this is localized web path. I have given the content. This is because the default language, it points to the default language chosen in the site. For example, the site which we have seen the demo, the default language is chosen as English, and by default it will take us English. And I've configured another language for French, FR, and that I have translated the content. Same applicable for the description as well. It's all based on the user's preferred language that is chosen to see the contents, and how we can customize the web part contents. It all resides within your localized strings. For example, if you have noticed, there is a folder called LOC, which is for localization, where you will be seeing the default file called enus-.js, that means for English language, where you will have all the configurations. And in the my strings file, you'll be having all your configurations mapped against each property. I will show you in the coding, in the live coding, how it is working, so that you get some better understanding. And this is how you can configure the settings values. As we said, so we have configured all the configurations using this manifest file and this NUS file. How you can create a content for each and every languages, because in out of the box pages like modern pages or news, we have a translator option. You can do that. But if you want to do the same for your web part as well, you need to do some configurations and settings to be enabled, so that you can capture the languages for each and contents for each and every language. This is how you can do that by configuring your web part property plan settings. Let's see. We will see a demo for this as well, so that you should be get some better understanding. Okay, we have configured all this, but how you are going to test it? But because suppose if you don't have multiple users, and or you want to switch between the languages to test it, whether how it looks, or how we can display the contents, the prepared content. Because the one challenge with this localization is you need to concern about the UI. Because for example, if you are specifying this content testing, even if you look at this samples, here we have a demo multilingual page which is in a single language. But if the same, if I switch between the French language, the contents, the size of the contents will get changed. For it may come, the string length may, for example, in English, if the length of the string is somewhere around 10 words, maybe if you do the same in French, the content length may change to 15 words, or 12 or 20 words. You cannot, you don't know how it would come. In that case, you need to whatever the language that you want your web part to be supported, you need to test each and every language before you move to production. So this is also, again, that's not so much complicated. You just need to run this command, like how gulp serve, and you want to give this additional param to this your command, so that you can test the web part in the preferred language that you have configured, just like hyphen locally, and mention the language in which you want to support. And one major problem is the web part is will support only for the content. So if you, even though if you run it, you'll be able to see only the contents can be changed. The metadata contents will not get changed. Okay, let's see some coding, how it is working. Yeah, so here I have created multiple web parts for the same, for the demo purpose. Yeah, if you see, I have created 3 web parts within a single solution, like hello world, which we have seen the demo. This is where I told, like, because while developing, if we just mentioned as the hello world is the title, the French user may not know how to use this web part, how he or she can configure this web part. So that's where the problem arises. That's why we need to update the metadata as well. And yeah, here this manifest.json is what we are talking about. If you go to this manifest, you will be able to see that manifest. And here, as you can configure each and every language, like group over the title and description, and the conversions you can do. This is where I said that as a developer, you need to translate the content, or get the translated content from the proper source and put it in over here, so that when you run it, each and every user will get the title and description updated. And now coming to how you can translate the web part contents, like how you can translate the contents within the web part. For example, we have seen some the hello world web part like welcome to SharePoint. How you can do that? So if you look at this example, by default you will get a by default when you create an SPFX web part, you will get something like this, like the which is specifically only for the property section, like property pan description, the group name, and the description field reliable. How you can take this to your contents within the web parts as well. That means the messages, whatever the messages or labels or buttons that you are displaying within your web part. Like for example, in our case, this welcome to SharePoint and this customized things like that. For that, it's all like key value pair. If you see, this is just like a key value pair. Your property pan description is your key and this is your value. You just need to maintain this for each and every language that you wish to support. For example, I'm just taking this localized web part. Here I have created two languages, like English is a default language which we will get, and I have created another language called French. If you look at this JavaScript file, I have created the same set of values like a property pan, basic group name, description, welcome message, welcome description. The same thing will appear here as well. Suppose if I want to add any other new language, let me add something in real quick. Uh, for example, if I don't know the language code for this German, suppose if it is something like this. I just need to copy and paste this, and I will be just translating this description to some German language. I will not be changing this key value because this key value only will be referring within our code. Yeah. So here I translated the content. Now let's get into the web part which we have already built. If you look at this in your webpart.ts file, if you look at, we'll be getting that strings file. If you have noticed that, we'll be getting the strings. That means localized webpart strings. The all the properties that we have created here will get converted into a TypeScript file when you run it, and you need to mention the property names in the interface over here. This property name and the in the JavaScript what you have configured should be same, else you will not get the key value mapping. And once you've done that, if you get into a webpart.ts file, you just import it like you import the other styles like SAS file or something like that. You can just import it at the top. And once you have imported that, you just need to take it to your TypeScript files as well, like be it Angular or React or any JavaScript framework, it doesn't matter. You can do it, you can repeat the same steps for any of the languages and you will get the intelligence. It's same like how you get your styles get integrated. You should be able to get your language strings as well. It is a custom one. You can define any name, that is up to you. And here we get intelligence. So here if you see, you will just get this welcome message that it is a common thing. You are not hard coding your message. That's the welcome message uh, or the either English or French. You are not hard coding. You will be just using this key value, the property name which you have created over here. So that's why we need to maintain the same thing in all the languages. Once you have done that, when you run your web part, the content will be delivered accordingly. So it will not, you no need to worry about, okay, you no need to put some conditions like this user do this language or for this user do this. It will automatically deliver based on the user's preferred language that they wish to choose the contents. For example, in a nutshell, the language in which the sites, title, navigation, everything is displayed in the same language, your contents will also get displayed. The only thing is you just need to make sure that what are the languages that you wish to support, it has to be enabled. Suppose, okay, here I have enabled only the English and the French language. Suppose if the user has configured German as his preferred language or any other Arabic languages he preferred, in that case, what will happen? As you know, since we have the default as English, if the specific resource file is not found in this local region, it will take English as the preferred language. The same thing is implemented in the news report as well. So we have seen that we were able to see both the news report with the English language contents and the French language contents. So that's how this works. Now, how do we test it? As I said, how we can test it. So let me run it from the local. The command prompt open. Let me run it from the local. Yeah, okay. For example, let me delete this file. I think it is not configured properly, so let me delete this file so it doesn't cause any unnecessary errors. If I run it by default, we will get the English language because I have not mentioned anything, any language specification in this section. Let me open the command prompt so that we get some. Yeah, here it is. I will stop this. Yeah, here it is. I'm just going to Gulf survey so we can see it from this. You can see the same in from the local and we can test it out. It is taking time. Okay, fine. Let it run. So before that, in the meantime, let me explain you how we can achieve the. Okay, we have predefined these labels. For example, the welcome message or the description or the button text or the labels, we know how it will come. Same like Microsoft is doing for the site settings and all, because they are predefined labels. They know how what label should come and it is automatically translated. Same like in our web parts, we know what messages we will display, like welcome message, we will display welcome description or button text. We know that these contents will come. Okay, these are predefined content, but how about, I mean, that means the static contents. So we configure based on the language. How about that dynamic contents? So that's why we see in our slide how we can do the same for the dynamic contents. It's actually configured in your web part properties. Okay, why we are configuring web part properties? The reason is the web part, if you configure the things in your web part properties, it will be saved somewhere within your web part manifest in your web part manifest XML within the SharePoint. If you want to save it in the SharePoint list, it is a hard thing because you need to maintain multiple lists or columns to save these values. So it is best to save it in your web part manifest based on your context. That's what we are going to see now. Okay, our contents got loaded. So we should have got run it from here. Yeah. So our report is ready. Now it is just showing it in English thing. Suppose if you want to view the same in French and see how the translation works, you just need to give. Yeah, I'm just mentioning the French language over here. Okay, I'm giving the right command. Yeah, I have given the right command. It is not loaded fully. Yeah. Now you see it is translated into French. The one disadvantage with this kind of testing is you will not be able to see the translated content for this title section, but that's okay. That's not a problem for us, because the title and metadata will get translated and the Microsoft SharePoint handles it. So you don't need to worry about how the UI will come. The only thing you need to concentrate is what text you put in. But in this case, you need to concentrate on how the UI is appearing. Maybe the button size you need to increase or decrease, or the you need to increase the width size. These kind of testing you need to do. So that's where this command helps in for you. This is how you can test it from the local for the different languages. And as I said, how let's show how we can implement the this translation for this dynamic contents. For example, this is the web part where I have configured the same. Yeah. Let me explain you one by one. Okay, so here is the greeting message that I'm pausing within my web part. So I'm just going to update some configurations within the property pan configuration. So you have one default method called on property pan configuration start. So where uh, you can customize your languages that your site is supporting. For example, in this case, my site is supporting only for the languages English and French. So when I edit this web part, I will be just yeah, I'm just getting only English and French. The reason why I'm getting English and French is I have configured my site to support only French and English. I think you have seen that already in the settings page with the language settings. I have just configured to support only the English and French. We are just reading the values from this setting to display to reconfigure our property pan. Yeah, this is here we just configure the languages that are supported within our the supported languages you can get from this API call like English and French, which I shown you right now. And once you get this language, you just need to configure. Maybe your site is configured in the dynamic way, but you don't know these are the languages that are supported by SharePoint, but you don't know what the site owner decides. So it's best to list on all the languages and display the languages that you want to display based on the supported languages configured by the site owner. And once you do that, as you know, the properties values are saved within the web part. So that's why we are using the local ID and we are saving the greeting values based on the local ID. The local ID will be different for each and everything. I mean, each and every languages, like for example, English, it will be 1033, I guess. That's why we are getting the default value as 1033 if nothing matches. And as I said, the language will be displayed based on the current user's UI culture name. For example, if I open this page and suppose maybe where is the settings? I'm just opening this setting. You can even find it in this console log. Yeah, current UI culture name. I'm just getting French language as my current UI culture name. That's what you're getting in your context as well. So you just need to plan your business logics and implementations to show the different contents based on this current UI culture name. You get that within your SPFX context itself. So you no need to make any API calls to identify the current user's culture, and you can get it like this. And based on the local ID it returned, you're just going to get it from the property values, because you know the property value that is configured will be saved within this properties object, which is in your SPFX web parts, and we will be saving each property value based on the local ID. That's why we are just getting the current user's local ID and getting it from the key value array collection, and that is how it will display in your site. Okay, now if you want, the one other advantage with this is now we have seen how you can do the customization in localization within your SPFX web parts, and also we have covered how you can customize the multilingual pages and modern users using the out of the box options. Here I think I have missed out one thing, so let me cover that as well. Let me show that in you in English language so that you understand it better. I'm just opening this language setting. So if you see, there is one more advanced setting option here. That means if you want to overwrite the language, for example, this site, yeah, right. Yeah. For example, this communication or this site information like title, or the navigations, everything is delivered based on the user's preferred language. Currently, I mean the language for the user who is preferred language is English, and this is, if you see the title and the navigation and footer, everything is delivered based on the current user's language. Suppose you want to fix that up and you want to have some predefined title where no user should automate that, there you can do that as well. How that works is, and this is where you have an option for that. For example, in your advanced setting, if you enabled this flag, after enabling this flag, if you go ahead and set the any of the site informations like a title or navigation in the default language, it should be set only using the default language. For example, I'm just going to edit this and I'm just going to set some name like homepage, and I'm just saving it. This thing will not get translated in this French language. Here you get homepage because we have override. We have got a setting to override this section as well. Also, the site title you should be able to overwrite it. So you can have some common title or navigation across the site for across all the languages. But that's not applicable for all the cases because in that case of if the user want to translate that, the users can do that. For example, this is a Spanish language. I'm sorry, French language. I get this homepage. Now, if I want to translate it, I can do that again back to the French language. For example, homepage, I can do that. But even though the override setting is enabled, this will not overwrite the English language. The reason is this override will be applicable only when it is changed by using the site's default language. The site's default language is English. Only the user whose preferred language is set as English, only those users will be able to modify that. But still, the other translators will have the control to change it and apply for all the sites. Yeah, I think I'm done with the demo what we wanted to see for today, like how we can customize the multilingual sites for the titles, descriptions, and footers, and how you can customize your SPFX web paths, the custom build web paths. The one thing to note down here is the automatic translation for this English to French. This setting is only applicable for the out of the box web path. For example, if I'm opening, let me go to this page. I am opening this multilingual web path. It is not translated, I guess. I'm opening this web path. Suppose if I want to, since this is not a translator, I'm just getting only this English because it is created using the English language. But at the same time, if you go to the home page, you can get two different options because the page is converted in two languages. So you get two different options, English and French. Suppose if I'm translating this page also, sorry, not this one, the web part which we have created. Yeah, multilingual web part. This is the page where I have added the custom web parts. I'm just going to raise a request to translate this page. You got your mail. This pin is Okay, we have got a mail to translate this as well. So multilingual web parts. Now I'm just going to edit this page to translate it. Yeah, now we are seeing the French also as an option. But if you switch this thing to French, you can able to convert this content. Just a minute, yeah. I'm just going to put in some random content for the time being. Multilingual report, French. This is in English and French. If you switch these languages, the web part contents will not get changed. That this is one disadvantage that you can see with this kind of approach, because you need to pick the right options, because the custom web parts that we are building, it is completely based on the user's current UI culture. That means in which language the title, descriptions, navigations are displayed, the web part content will also be displayed only in that language. It does not reside on this language switch. This applicable only for the web news web part and the highlight web part. But still, I hope Microsoft will give this control also within the SharePoint framework, so we can display the web part content same like news and other news and highlight with the custom web parts as well. Let me show you that as well. For example, if I'm in this, sorry, if I'm within this, yeah, let's take this one. If I'm in this, if I want to see this content in French, I can see it in French. If I want to switch back to English, I can choose the English, and the contents will get translated, because the news report, since it's an out of the box report, it is with the control of SharePoint. So they translating it. They have the flag and they have the value to detect this. But in our case, in our Share, if for the custom built report, we don't have that option right now, but I hope it will get released in the near future, because this is just come to global availability just 4 5 months back. Maybe in the next versions of SPFX, I think we can expect that as well. This is one difference that you want to understand while implementing this approach, and you need to pick the right one for which web part and for which translations concept you need to go. I think we are done with our session for today. So I think it's time for question and answer session. So if you have any questions, so maybe you can ask.
Thanks, Jayakumar, for the session. This is Banu.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hi.
will the content in the other languages, will it get
Yeah.
automatically translated? Because we are assigning the translators also, right? When we are enabling the
Yeah.
languages feature.
Yeah. No, the as I said earlier, the contents will not get translated automatically, because while
Okay.
it is all a dynamic content added by users, right? So it will
Correct.
not translate automatically. That's
Okay.
why we are asking a translators, and they will get
Okay.
proper email notification to
But
translate the content. Until unless
okay.
they translate, it will be available for English for all the users. Only if it is translated, it will be visible.
Okay. But you said that two web parts, news web part and also the highlighted content web part.
Yeah.
There in those the content will be automatically translated.
No, the thing is, it will not translate automatically. What I was telling is, let me show you again by sharing the
Sorry for
screen.
that.
Yeah, no problem. Let me share the screen. Yeah, so here we have a news web part, and it is showing in English language. Suppose if I'm going to switch, it will read the contents automatically, which is translated. I'm going to, if you see the contents within, I have already translated these pages,
Okay.
right? For example,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I have a French page because I have already translated, and in this demo I have already translated. So it is pulling me the only the French related contents, but at the
Okay.
same time pulling me the non-translated contents in English as well. This is what
Okay.
I was talking about.
Okay. Okay, got it.
because
Okay,
it is
thank you.
pulling the content based on the language chosen by the user. But we
Okay,
don't have that option for the custom SPFX thing. If we
okay,
get that also, that would be great. So that with this simple translation itself, you should will be able to get the relevant content.
okay, got it.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes, Jayakumar, thank you. But one thing I read somewhere in the blogs, this translations feature it is automatically available in the on-premise SharePoint Server 2019. Am I right on that? The text conversion
Uh,
also.
I think I am not that much about
Okay,
on-prem, so I'm not sure.
okay,
Maybe
sure,
earlier, I think we have some variables concept. Maybe that's how I'm not sure. But it is not a
okay, sure,
replacement for that. It is a completely new thing only for the communication sites. And
okay,
again, this is not available for the team sites for now. For now, it is for communication sites.
sure. Thank you.
Hi Jay, this
Yeah.
is Sindhuraj. I have a query.
Yes.
So as of now, if I had created a page in source like English and then I made certain changes on that page, by that time
Okay.
I had not used the translation option and I had not created any pages in the target language like French or German. So
Okay.
if I create that German page, by that time, whatever is available in the source will be made available in the target, and translation is available for the person who is going to validate and approve. In
Okay.
case there are any changes after the translation has been happened and page has been created
Yeah.
into the target language, are the any
Yeah.
changes on the source are getting applied on the target by default as it was we are having the option in the when we are using the variation in on premises, but as
Yeah.
of now we did not have any options which override this setting that changes are applied automatically or it will be the manually. What is the
No.
implication on that?
No, again, it works in the same how you create. When you update a page, for example, once you created a page and you translated, for example, English to German, and again, if you are going to update some content in English, again, it will send an email notification to the translator. So the translator can go ahead and review the change and then apply. After the translator has completed the translation, then only the updation will go to the German language.
So in case there are any new complete new sections are getting added on the source, then it will be
Yeah.
automatically added.
No, you mean the new web parts, something like
Yes,
that
if
you are.
I yes, if earlier I was having 10 web parts on the page, I added one more in the source as 11th.
Okay.
So will this web part will be getting added automatically?
Uh, no, only after the translation is done, it will be displayed. The translator has to review whether the translation has to be done or not. If there is no translation needed, it will be he can just ignore it, else he can translate it. It will get automatically added, but it will go to the translator's review.
Okay. Okay, I got my answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Anand here. So
Yeah.
can we use the same key value pairs for the image localization? For example, for English, I want to separate image, and for French, I want to localize image for their culture. So can we
Yeah,
use
yeah,
the same
you can use. For example, it's just a key value. It is not restricted to uh,
text
the
only?
text, right? Yeah, the
Okay.
same in the same place. Suppose in the French you want to display something like images hyphen French dot png. It's up to you. You can put in the any value because if
Understood.
you want to display the image, it is a string, right? Then in your tsx file, if you're having some image param, image
Okay.
element, you can use something like that. In the URL, you can bind it with this. That's it. You can do that.
Okay. Okay. So just the attribute will be included in the curly braces, and then we can use the strings dot what it may be the
Yes,
URL is. Okay.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you. I got this.
Any other questions, friends?
Jed, I have one more query. If I have some contents within the web part as a dynamic,
Okay.
suppose, then in that case, what is the guideline for the getting the contents for the multiple languages?
Yeah. So let me share it again. Yeah, the dynamic contents, you if you are building a web part, then you need to plan accordingly. For example, that's why I have shown you a sample here. I have uploaded the same thing in GitHub as well. You just need to plan it and get your properties section. For
Sorry to
example,
disturb you.
yeah,
Just a minute. I think we are already getting late to another session. Can I ask the attendees to go and navigate to the next session? And please drop an email or connect with the speaker, offline. We just left with 1 minute and now it's already over, right? So we have a different session going on parallelly. Just being of cognizance of time, I'm saying that.
just a quick game and then so yes. So you can do something like this. So you get the dynamic contents and save it in a property.